And now, since we did a video on the Wrestling Otaku, you know what I'm saying? Finally, I got that out of the way and never want to hear about him again, you know what I'm saying? But now that we've done that, now we can move on and talk about some wrestling stuff, motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? Namely, I want to talk about MJF and Adam Cole and their horrible tag team. Now, there's one reason why I don't like this tag team, and that is because they went over Big Bill and Brian Cage, right? Which is just ridiculous. It's just absurd. There's certain levels that should never be broached, right? I don't care if you're the best tag team of all time, right? The Dudleys would barely beat like the Big Show in a 2-on-1 handicap tables match, right? The Dudleys are not going to beat the team of Big Show and The Rock or Big Show and Undertaker or two bigger guys, right? And Dudleys are big dudes too, but you know, two bigger guys that are higher up on the card. The problem here is that Big Bill and Brian Cage are basically not there, right? They're so low in the card, they're so irrelevant, right? That they can be used as jobbers, right? But think about what you've done here. You've taken two guys that could be stars, right? Either one of them could be a star. Cass or Big Bill has some charisma. He's not Enzo, of course, but he has some charisma. Brian Cage, not very good on the mic, but look at the guy. Look at the guy, and also, for all the wrestling purists out there, he sure as shit does cool moves for a big guy. You see this motherfucker doing tombstones. You know, I can trace all of this back to two things. Number one, Big Bill's introduction to AEW, which was basically like, oh, here's a jobber from WWE. We're not going to respect him at all, right? That, and then, of course, with respect to Brian Cage, which is, in my opinion, a bigger travesty. Like, when I first saw Brian Cage in Lucha Underground, I'm like, I cannot believe that WWE hasn't signed this guy already. Like, this is just absurd. Like, sign this guy immediately. Push him to the moon. Have him feud with Cena, right? WWE is wasting their time with, like, Lars Sullivan and Ryback, which Ryback's pretty cool, but, you know, they're wasting their time with two guys. Just get Brian Cage. He's better in the ring, right? He's better in the ring if that's what you care about. And he looks the part. He's got cool moves, a discernible moveset. But what happened to him was in TNA Impact, he got buried, essentially, by Tessa Blanchard, right? And how did that fucking turn out, right? Everyone thought when Tessa Blanchard became the first woman to become TNA champion or whatever, everyone thought that this woman was destined for greatness. And maybe she still is. I know she's still young, right? Everyone thought she would go to WWE and become like the next big thing in women's wrestling. And quite frankly, I don't think there's enough room for her now, right? They got too many motherfucks, right? They got Asuka, they got Bianca Belair, they got Charlotte hanging out there, they got Rhea Ripley, you know what I mean? And in my opinion, at least Rhea Ripley's better than her and Charlotte as well. Bianca Belair and Asuka, you could make an argument either way, but the point is, her window has passed, right? So what did that accomplish? All that accomplished, motherfucks, was it buried Brian Cage. I don't know in what world and what amount of money they must have paid this man to take this loss, right? Maybe he thought he was doing the right thing. But you have to protect your character. If you don't protect your character, you are liable to suffer for this in the future, right? It's difficult to take Brian Cage seriously when Tessa Blanchard beats him. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right? That's the same thing that happened in the past in WWE. When you have like a jobber beat someone clean, like Buddy Murphy, right? Buddy Murphy, I'll never forget it because normally I don't care at all. But Buddy Murphy beat Daniel Bryan clean. To me, that's the end of Daniel Bryan. I don't care anymore, right? You can't even beat Buddy Murphy, right? Buddy Murphy beat your ass, right? Buddy Murphy then got his ass whooped by Seth Rollins like 100 times in a row. So what the hell, why would I care about you? Right? You can't even beat the guy that Seth Rollins is squashing left and right. So protecting your character is extremely important in wrestling. And neither of these men have protected their character very well. Big Bill, he had personal issues, so I can't really hold that against him because it has nothing to do with wrestling. But that also didn't help his character either, right? He's come back though. Now he's fucking yoked. He was feuding with Big Show when he was fat, right? And now he's like in 100 times better shape and he can't beat like Lee Moriarty or whatever. You know, he can't beat Adam Cole. I mean, if you lost your mind, right? In the real world, if it was like a real fight, Big Bill would destroy MJF and Adam Cole in a 2-on-1 anything, right? He would just murder them both in one kick to the face or one punch to the face, and that'd be it for the careers of MJF and Adam Cole. But no, we have to put over MJF and Adam Cole in order to, what it looks like, set up the main event for that England show, right? Which, in my opinion, is heading towards disaster for the reasons that I just stated. Like, what the hell? Who wants to watch that, right? Who wants to watch Adam Cole? Are you fucking kidding me? And MJF. This sounds like an NXT main event on like a throwaway takeover. You know, people are paying hundreds of pounds, I guess, right, to watch this live in Wembley, and this is what you're going to provide for them? You know? I don't know, motherfucks. It doesn't seem very wise to your boy, right? Now, beyond this, the tag team of Adam Cole and MJF is stupid because it's very obvious what's going to happen, right? They're going to make it to the finals of this tournament, and then either they're going to lose clean and MJF is going to turn on Adam Cole, or he's going to turn on Adam Cole in the middle of the match. That's almost certainly what's going to happen. And if I could see it coming a mile away, then it's just shitty booking, right? It's just not wise. Now, even if that doesn't happen, right? Let's assume that I'm wrong, which I don't think I am. And if something happens that I don't see coming, right? What's the other payout? They become tag team champions? Why? Eventually, it's going to culminate in a match between the two of them, right? Also, it doesn't make any sense how 2 weeks before they started teaming, MJF is cutting like a scathing promo about how Adam Cole basically can't put it together and how he's basically a jobber, right? And he didn't live up to his potential. So all of a sudden they're friends and Adam Cole is okay with this. One of them is turning on the other. And as a result, because I know what's going to happen, why the hell would I watch, right? It's just like, remember that time when Carlito was like turning face and heel seemingly every week? And you're like, okay, great. Eventually he's going to turn heel again. Why the hell would I watch anything with Carlito? Like, I know what's going to happen. This is not a temporary character for him. I mean, not a permanent character for him. He's going to switch back and forth, right? It's important to have consistency, right? And there's nothing consistent about Adam Cole and MJF teaming together, right? This is actually, I think, in my opinion, one of the biggest problems of AEW. One of the biggest problems is that it lacks this consistency, right? A lot of things happen, and then a lot of things don't matter, right? Here's a great example, right? The governor Anthony Ogogo. I don't even know if he's still in the company, but he's still on their roster page because I just checked 2 days ago because I was curious. He's had one loss. It's against Cody Rhodes. So what has he been doing since then, right? Cody Rhodes beat him. He's not even in the company anymore. So basically no one else in the company has beaten him. So what the hell is he doing? He's just, wrestling on elevation or whatever and like just beating jobbers. Why doesn't he demand a title shot? I thought rankings and wins and losses mattered, right? You know what I mean? There's no consistency in him. You have wrestlers that consistently for a year are important. They're presented as important or at least quasi-important, right? And then all of a sudden they end up doing nothing. Hook is like undefeated. Sting is undefeated. Where is their title shot, right? They have 1 million wins. You're still counting the wins and losses. So where's their title shots? Why doesn't Sting come out and say, hey, I want a title shot? Why doesn't Hook come out and say, hey, I'm tired of being like this make-believe champion. I'd like to get a title shot. At this point, even going after one of the jobber titles would be better for Hook, right? And maybe now he'll do it now that he's wrestling and feuding with Jungle Boy, right? There's no consistency at all. No consistency whatsoever, right? Now that Jungle Boy is a heel and Luchasaurus is a heel, they could easily just team together because their characters are so inconsistent that now that they're both evil, they can just go and be like, oh, we're a team now, right? Forget about the betrayal. Now, I understand wrestling is a soap opera and you have to forgive and forget the past a little bit for the story to make sense full turn, right? But you can only do this for so long, right? You can only do this for so long, and you can only do it if there's good booking, right? Like, I know eventually Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are going to break up, and they're going to have a feud with each other. Like, I know that's going to happen, right? But at the very least, give them, like, a long title run, right? In AEW, this never happens. No betrayal feels legit in AEW because everybody's thrown together, immediately, right? The only betrayal that has felt legit was Powerhouse Hobbs betraying whoever the fuck he betrayed, and joining Team Taz, and then Christian betraying Jungle Boy, right? Because that was like, all right, obviously this was going to happen at some point, but at the very least they had a good run together, right? So AEW, in my opinion, is completely directionless. This is going nowhere, and the primary example that I can give of this, the primary piece of evidence that we have, in my opinion, is the tag team of MJF and Adam Cole. As a matter of fact, this tag team has really, the existence of this tag team has really just cheapened the entire tournament, right? The question of who's going to become the next tag team champions is completely irrelevant because all of this is being overshadowed by the fact that you have the world champion in this tournament, right? And the entire tag team belts are being put as a back burner. Now, especially if MJF betrays Adam Cole in the middle of the match for whatever reason, then you may as well piss on the tag team championships immediately, right? Because they become completely meaningless. If the champion doesn't want to be tag team champions, then the tag team title belts are useless. Now, if the champion never wanted to be tag team champions, that's perfectly fine, right? There's a tag team division. But once the champion interjects himself and pretends he wants to be tag team champion, then you cannot just have him turn and basically say, I don't care about the tag titles anymore because I'm the world champion. Unless you literally have him say that. Then that might actually work. That would actually be kind of cool. If MJF just betrays Adam Cole and he's like, hey, you thought I cared about the tag team titles? I'm the world champion. I don't care about anything else. I care only about the main title, which is the one that I have. I'm the number one guy in this company. The end. Maybe Adam Cole was like excited because he could finally win a title since he says he hasn't won one. You could see something like that. That might work pretty well. But overall, I do believe that this is an indicative of AEW's Directionless Nonsense, right? They have a lot of people that they've dropped the ball on. Look at Wardlow, right? He was like way up higher on the card like a year ago than he is now. Like nobody gives a shit about Wardlow at all. Like I don't care anymore at all, right? He's like a Gunther. You know, he's like Gunther in AEW. Like I don't care anymore. You know, you had your moment. I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? I've lost interest, right? You have to keep the things exciting, right? Because how can anyone care about Gunther when LA Knight is around the corner, right? People have a very short memory and short attention span when it comes to wrestling. So you have to make sure that things are continually exciting, right? Until you get like a real star, right? If you get like a Daniel Bryan or a CM Punk, then you can have them do whatever the fuck you want because they can always revert back to being Daniel Bryan and CM Punk in one promo. But Wardlow doesn't have that luxury. If Wardlow starts losing like 10 matches in a row tomorrow, it wouldn't be a surprise at all. Like nobody would be shocked. They'd be like, oh, okay, I guess that's what's happening with him. You know? So that being said, kiss my ass, cucks.